society, an evolutionary standpoint that made humans the most intelligent species of Earth. As far as mankind is tracked down, we have always lived together, supporting each other and finding new ways to survive. But our mind was not only fueled with the survival instinct, we developed something that no other species had understood, and that was the growth instinct. Humans have always been constantly finding new ways to grow as society. The hunger of building a perfect life has helped us to take giant leaps one after another. Fire, wheel, weapons, and clothes. These were some of the first discoveries and creations that came from our beautiful mind. Civilization, societies, governance, and culture were the four pillars that made us what we are today. Years and centuries of inventions and revolution didn't stop us. We were never satisfied. What we wanted was a fully connected global society. And that drive to create a hive mind gave us one of the most beautiful inventions of the modern mankind: the internet. The internet started in 1960s as a way for the government researchers to share information. At first, there were the computers that were very heavy and immobile that gave us the connectivity. This allowed different kinds of computers on different networks to talk to each other.
In the mid-60s, the Department of Defense in the United States decided they needed a network, and they decided to implement the kind of technology I had been working on. And so it was decided that UCLA, my lab at UCLA, would become the first node, the first piece of the internet. And so in 1969, that did happen. And after the first node was installed at my laboratory, a second node was installed up at Stanford Research Institute, 400 miles to the north. And it was out of my laboratory that I supervised the transmission of the first internet message. So what was the first message of the internet? So all we wanted to do was to log in, to connect from our computer to theirs. Now, in order to log in, we at our end have to type LOG, and the machine up at SRI will finish the message and type back the IN for us because it knows exactly what we're doing. We typed the L and we said, "You get the L?" It said, "Yep, got the L." Type the O, "You got the O?" "Yep, got the O." Type the G, "Got the G?" Crash! The network crashed. So what was the first message ever on the internet? Lo, as in lo and behold.
We were connected. We had a system that could share and read data from around networks. But still, we had hunger for more.
The internet is literally the roadworks that allow information to spread around. But you didn't have anything really that you could use on it. What the web did was create a way for people to get all of the information that was out there and connect it up. The web is the content that lays on top of the internet.
I mean, when I started thinking about all the people issues and doing psychology and just like being at university, interacting with a lot of people, it just kind of occurred to me that this would be something that was interesting. And I mean, like I knew how to do it, so I just did. I mean, it took me like a couple of weeks or even less to throw together the site.
What was earlier a code now became a click and was available for everyone to use. The arrival of Facebook, MySpace, Google, and many more gave humanity a new way to connect, talk, explore, and express. It was like a creation of a new society, a digital society.
We are in the middle of a huge shift, a paradigm shift that parallels the Industrial Revolution or perhaps the aftermath of the printing press. When you ask somebody from those ages, where is this headed? They inevitably would tell you the wrong story.
We weren't able to understand what internet could become one day. Internet had the potential of becoming something more. Something that would be driven by greed. Websites became the new normal, and people were using it to ask questions. But still, it felt static. We wanted that experience to be with us all the time. Evolution of internet and mobile phone were taking place almost simultaneously. Mobile phones had become the standard tool for communication, very small screen, keypad, and very slow data connection. This was the 2G generation. But seriously, what more could a small screen do?
This is a day I've been looking forward to for 2.5 years. iPhone. Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone.
The iPhone created a shockwave in the mobile industry and gave us a new age of internet. Finally, we could see its true potential. Soon came the age of apps. Apps were the new ways to connect and use internet services. And then the social media industry saw the potential of expanding into something more, something big. At first, these apps were harmless, created just to connect with your friends, like you did on computer. Companies like Instagram made their debut and created a photo-based app to share your memories with friends. But they didn't just wanted to create apps. They wanted people to use them all the time. Companies that became giants had data of millions. Soon the customers became the product and advertisers became customers. It is said that the apps were never the product, the users were. Social media had potential of becoming a $1 billion industry that would make both the advertisers and the company very rich. All they wanted was to find a way to make people use these platforms for hours. They wanted screen time, and answer was in plain sight. A slot machine. Slot machine is a perfect example of unlimited screen time. It is designed to make a user stay for hours, sometimes days. All that was needed was to create something that could work as a digital slot machine with content instead of money. We often underestimate the power of anticipation. Anticipation is more exciting than winning. Because what your brain experiences in seconds of winning, anticipation gives you that same feeling for longer and consistent period of time. Social media became a platform to showcase content rather than sharing your memories. It became a slot machine that gives you a new content every time you scroll or swipe. Users were addicted, and companies had to do nothing special because they created a perfect sustainable model, which today is called as the creator's algorithm. The creators are the ones that create content that is shown to the users using the algorithm that tracks the user's interest and shows content accordingly. Every user can become a creator, and every creator still remains a user. It's the most perfect and sustainable slot machine in the history.
जिस समय हमारे देश में चारों तरफ महिलाओं की सुरक्षा की बात हो रही है, लोग कह रहे हैं कि महिलाओं को अपराधों और अपराधियों से आजादी कब मिलेगी। ऐसे में उसी समय हमारे देश में इंटरनेट पर लोग महिला सुरक्षा से ज्यादा पॉर्न वीडियोस को सर्च कर रहे हैं। भारत में गूगल पर पॉर्न वीडियोस को सर्च करने का एवरेज इंटरेस्ट 90.8% रहा है।
Algorithm doesn't consider content whether it is from a friend or it is appropriate to show. It merely runs on collected data. That's all. And just like that, everyone is exposed to content that is not filtered by age but by data. This is the real problem. See, the app is free and open for all. Children and teenagers are the most curious one, and they don't know what is right or wrong. There are many cases around the world of children and teenagers tragically losing their lives because of inappropriate content shown on platforms that depicted self-harm and injury.
I don't think the problem is that data is valuable and therefore is equated with some value. The real problem happens whenever people have to volunteer a lot of their personal data and are being exploited, don't get anything in return. That's the kind of problem that we have today. It's the equation that matters, it's the purpose that matters, not whether or not in principle we collect data.
It is not an exaggeration to say that our India is on the verge of catastrophe due to unregulated digital world. Cases of losing money on gambling apps, children putting lakhs of rupees into games, mindless cringe content, and toxic internet fandom. India is at a high risk. It is said that we have a high amount of youth population, but today our youth is exposed to content that is affecting their psychology and making society highly toxic. If we have youth that is stuck in digital trap, we may fall from the great height that we have achieved in the last decade. If we carefully observe, it's frightening what we today consider as normal on social media. India needs a digital reform. The society and the government both are responsible for keeping the next generation safe. Today, social media has destroyed our lives. We are trapped in the digital space. People are more judgmental, negative, comparative, and competitive than they ever were. Everyone is judged by their profile. Everyone wants to become a creator because it's quick money, and people can easily be influenced by just one post. Mindless scrolling is rotting our brains and making us foolish. We just want to consume. We don't want to think, we just believe what is shown just because it is said by someone who has number of likes or followers. And that is the true threat, a state of mindlessness. With generative AI gaining popularity among people, the sky is the limit for new creative ideas to unfold. While most of the creators are just there for numbers and produce content we today refer as mindless entertainment, some are still shining as a ray of hope. There are creators offering meaningful entertainment and educational content that has a potential of forming a new short form films avenue. While all social media companies are trying to protect their users, there are zero attempts in order to educate the users. Most of the active social media users today are teenagers, and while they have a growing mind, they still are unaware of the brutality of how the society sometimes works. There are cases of mental problems due to online trolling. Still, the government and the companies make zero efforts in educating the users. While there are many hard truths, this video is not made to point a finger at government or the companies. This is merely an attempt to deliver a wake-up call to all the users and makers of the new age communication. We as a society are one leap away from creating something beautiful that would make our generation proud. We are on the peak of technological advancement and we are achieving success far more than we ever had. We are more connected globally than we ever could be. With all this power in our hands, we have to ponder upon the choices that destiny has given us. Whether to rise from the ashes or drown under greed.